Hey everybody, I'm Kate Conroy,
And I'm Vinny Civitola.
and this is Other People's Business, which is the podcast from the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, the largest statewide business association in the country, representing approximately 1 million employees in the state of New Jersey. We release a new episode every other Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. Shout out to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group. They do home, auto, and workers' comp, and they are the official sponsor of the show, so check them out if you need some updated coverage.
Awesome. With that out of the way, just a couple housekeeping matters. This show is available anywhere you can get a podcast. That's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon's TuneIn. We even put these things up on YouTube if you'd rather watch than listen. But if you are listening to this on something that provides for ratings and reviews like an iTunes, we totally appreciate that 5-star rating. Helps us get discovered by more awesome listeners just like you. So with that out of the way, our guest today from Junior Achievement in New Jersey is Catherine Milone. Catherine, say hi, let the audience hear your voice.
Hello, Kate and Vinny. It's such a pleasure to be here.
We're so
Always a
happy
pleasure
to
to
have
have
you.
you.
All right, so today's icebreaker is, what are you currently binging? And it can be television, movies, food, books. My favorite answer continues to be eggs.
It's amazing how that continues to be your favorite answer. That's like 20 episodes ago.
I'm sorry. I should pick a new favorite, I guess. Sorry.
Eggs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Yeah, yes, she's got two toddlers. Rachel Durkin from Paradigm Marketing has got two toddlers, and they're just always requesting eggs for meals, and so she's just always having to eat them as well, apparently.
That would get old and gross quick. I don't know.
Anyway, I guess I'll go first. I think I mentioned a couple of episodes ago that I was watching an oldie but a goodie, Veronica Mars, that I never saw when it was live and on. I finally, thanks to Vinny, got all caught up. I watched the movie, and then I did the Hulu updated 8 episode, I guess. Yeah, it was totally worth it. I wish I had watched it back in the day. And just to continue the Kristen Bell binge, I restarted The Good Place because it's just
such a good one.
it's such a good place to be. The Good Place. I love that show.
How about you, Catherine?
I'm binge watching an older show that's on HBO. It's called My Brilliant Friend, and I'm reading the book, or I should say the books, because there's 4 books as part of the series that the show is played from. And the reason why I'm reading the book is so that I can anticipate what the ending will be for the series.
You're
Because
spoiling it? You're spoiling yourself?
I am a spoiler. Yes, those spoiler alerts, I could care less about a spoiler alert. I spoil my own ending.
So wait though. So it's not like the show is still running. The show is still running, or no?
So there were 2 series, and this year they'll launch series 3, which would
Okay,
be
so I see what you're saying.
associated
All right,
with book 3.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I did that with the Umbrella Academy. We mentioned that like a few months ago on the show. Yeah.
I like that. I'm always down to spoil myself. And I usually regret it, but it never deters me for the next time.
I never regret it. I will go to the end of the book if I have to, and I'll read it. If I'm dying to know what the ending is, I'll just go to the end of the book.
Nice.
Spoil it.
Wow.
Back to where I am.
What is the series about on HBO? What is it about?
It is the author is Elena Ferrante, and the show is set in post World War II in Italy, in Naples.
Ooh.
And it's all about 2 friends and how their friendship endured over the years. It is really cool. So I'm also a big fan of Italy, of traveling, of reading about, of watching. So I just love learning about what it was like back, in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and in Italy.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. I remember seeing it as I was scrolling through a while ago, and I thought, oh, that looks interesting, and then I just promptly forgot all about it and never saw it again when I was scrolling. I'll have to find it again. Thank you for the tip.
Well, if you want me to tell you a little bit more about it, I'd be happy to. Don't want to spoil it for you, but
let me get into it first, and then I'll text you.
There you go.
Vinny, what are you binging?
I wouldn't say I've been really binging anything lately. We went to the movie theater for the first time in like 15 months. That was cool. We saw Spirit Untamed. It's for the 3-year-old crowd. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was interesting. And I guess we started Loki. You know, they've been doing that on Disney Plus, so they drip that out once a week, so you can't really binge it. But I would if I could.
How did they? So I kept seeing that Loki was coming, but didn't,
Hmm.
spoiler alert, didn't he meet a
Die.
certain end on, yeah, right, he
Yeah.
died. Didn't he die?
So there's a point in the last Marvel movie, the Endgame, where they're going through time and they mess up and they have one of the stones, the Tesseract thing, and they accidentally drop it right in front of Loki, and he picks it up and he disappears with it. So this is a whole show about where he goes after that. So I guess if you were to look at like the canon of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he is still dead. But this is like this offshoot timeline where he escaped and whatever he's gonna do.
Well, dang, I
I
guess
know
I
there's
have to
this
check
whole
that
look of
out.
confusion on her face right now. Yeah, it's very funny. Like, because like immediately he goes where he's gonna go, and he's like immediately arrested by these time police who are like, "Whoa, you can't mess with time like that. Like, you can't." And he's like, "I didn't mess with time. This rock just dropped right in front of me. I picked it up and disappeared. What do you want from me?" So like, it's this whole thing that spooks off from there. I would
I,
definitely
I
recommend it. It's funny.
I can't wait. You need to just let me know when the last episode airs because I don't want to wait once a week for the shows. I
Sure.
want to binge it.
Well, did you watch any of the other stuff like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier or any of that? Because I know you
Not
finished
yet.
the movies.
Is Falcon finished? Can I binge
Yeah,
that
that
season?
one's done. So if you want to do that, you can do that, and then by the time you're done with that, maybe Loki will be done.
Fantastic. Okay.
So
I love
with
the
that out of
answer.
the way, Catherine, tell me what you do at Junior Achievement.
So Junior Achievement is a 100-plus-year-old organization that with the mission to inspire and prepare youth to be successful in the global economy. And I've been president for the operation in New Jersey for boy, it's been about 16 years now. And but I started my career at JA New York right out of college. So had a few years in New York City, and then spent a number of years here in New Jersey, and just focused on working with an incredible staff and an unbelievable board of directors whose focus is to change lives and help young people understand where they are and what their futures can be like, and the fact that they can dream big and they can make their dreams a reality. And all of this is through economic education and focused on leadership, developing leadership skills and employability skills, and showing the right path for a great future.
That sounds fantastic.
It's really
I
cool.
Wow, how many volunteers do you have in any given year? Do you do events? How does it work?
Yeah, at any given year, we'll recruit about 6,000 volunteers, and these volunteers come from all walks of life. I mean, these are corporate volunteers like yourselves. These are high school students in Trenton and Irvington and Camden and Washington Township, who are trained on our economic education curriculum and go into the classrooms in their communities and teach our programs. So our volunteers come from all walks of life, all ages and stages in life, and their focus is to inspire youth to own their economic success, and that's what we're all about.
That's fantastic. How do the kids find you?
That is a great question, because the kids pre-COVID, the kids didn't have to find us. It was the schools and the teachers and the superintendents that found us, and we would go into the classrooms, or we would take the students out of the classrooms and bring them to college campuses for career readiness seminars, or we would take students out of the classrooms and we'd bring them to our education center where they lived the life of an adult for the day through our BizTown or our Finance Park simulations. So pre-COVID, students did not have to look for us. But now, while we're in the middle of this pandemic, we pivoted. I know how much we all love that word. We've used it a few times in the last year and a half. And we've actually marketed our learning experiences directly to students. So now students are finding us through social media or through their parents or through their schools, and they're actually signing up directly for our learning experiences on our website.
That's really cool. So how old are the kids? Do they age out at 18? Is that what the, like, considered the adult, or what are the age ranges of kids that you work with?
Primarily, we work with students from kindergarten through 12th grade. However, we actually created an internship initiative this year for the first time, and where we'll actually go back to our youth who were high school heroes, and those are those young people that would go into their elementary schools and they would teach our economic education programs. Well, we actually created an internship initiative this year where we're recruiting those high school hero alumni to actually work with us, whether they're working with us as volunteers or working with us on our payroll. So for the most part, young people would age out at 18, with the exception that we've created an additional opportunity for young people to hone in on their leadership skills, leading the amazing initiatives like our tech initiatives. And these were all former alumni of our programs who had been involved in JA when they were in elementary school and then taught JA when they were in high school.
That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Do you do any fundraising throughout the year to help support your efforts?
We do a ton of fundraising because of the fact that 100% of our funds had been, again, this is pre-COVID, because we were fortunate enough to receive some funding through the government, during the last year and a half. But for the most part, our entire budget is funded by corporations, individuals, and our fundraisers. So in terms of fundraisers, we have golf outings. We actually have had 3 golf outings this year, because it seems like because of the pandemic, everybody wants to golf, which is awesome.
That's amazing.
So that's one of our fundraisers. And then we have, signature events like our New Jersey Business Hall of Fame, where we'll raise, $500,000 through that gala.
That is so cool. But yeah, I never, whenever I think about not-for-profits, I sometimes think about not-for-profits that are able to sort of sell their services or get money back from the government in terms of like Medicare or Medicaid, but you're just solely like, look, we're here, and if you as a corporation would like to support us, please feel free, because this is it. It's all donation all the time, right? Like that's a hard thing.
And we work with so many amazing corporate partners. It's outstanding. I mean, everyone from NJBIA and I could list, and I'd be afraid that I would miss a company and then I would go back and I would regret it. But our corporate partners are very generous, and they understand that because of these corporate partners and these individuals that fund our learning experiences, we're able to provide these learning experiences to schools, to parents, to students at no cost. Mm-hmm. So our programs are literally free to every single child in the state of New Jersey. And that's because of the great partnerships that we have with the corporate community.
And it sounds like just like a beautiful circle. So the corporations support you, you create kids who turn into adults who have more earning power, therefore more buying power, and therefore they go back and they support corporations either through, buying stuff, buying houses, just the cycle of the economy, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Great circle of life.
The circle of life. Where's Simba?
It's true. And what's really cool is when you see these corporate volunteers and these high school students actually pairing together and volunteering together to educate and inspire younger people. So for example, for this last year, we've had this initiative, a coding workshop on Saturdays that our interns actually designed and are facilitating. And they've recruited the corporate volunteers and the high school students, paired these young people and these adults together. And these pairs actually teach middle school children all about coding. So whether it's, beginner coding like Scratch or more advanced coding like Python, but it's this great teamwork between these two generations. So it's really exciting to see. And you're right, it is the circle of life for sure.
One of the things I always thought was really cool is that there's a ton of different ways you can volunteer. So the first time I ever volunteered for Junior Achievement, we drove to Trenton and I taught in a classroom. And we've done 91 episodes of this show, and I can tell you I've never been more nerve-wracked as I was standing in front of a classroom of 9-year-olds. But then after that, like the next year, you did a bowl-a-thon. And so we bowled and we raised money that way. And, so it was like, that was far less nerve-wracking. I'm really not good at bowling, but I could at least, do that and not have to worry about the stress.
Definitely.
It's so true. It's amazing to see. You'll see corporate leaders that are used to speaking in front of town halls that will train and will be with the morning of, a learning experience, and they will be so nervous. And I can appreciate that. It is, kids can say the darndest things, can't they?
Well, it's
I
funny because,
remember.
I think I kind of psyched myself out in the beginning, and then I just kind of took a deep breath and I was like, they're 9. Like, it's fine. I got through it. And they were so, what's the word? Like, they were like sponges. They just wanted to learn and they wanted to soak up everything. And they were so much, the things I was nervous about, they probably didn't care about at all. And once I kind of got past that, it was great.
Yeah. I think I would be way more nervous in front of high schoolers. Like, I remember how judgmental I was as a high schooler. And Vinny and I actually did that not that long ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We taught a class.
I did high school forever ago.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. But yeah, it was kind of terrifying, So I give the volunteers a lot of credit because that's hard.
So rewarding though as well. I mean, we've got this initiative for young girls, a girl empowerment initiative called the Women's Future Leadership Academy. And of course, it's been virtual for the last year and a half. But these young people, the quotes and the testimonials that you'll hear, they are just forever grateful that an adult, like you, Kate, spent the time to help them, understand the opportunities that are ahead of them. And so I think no matter how nervous we are when we get in front of kids, then you get these cards, these crayon cards or these emails with notes of gratitude, and you just see the power and the impact that you can make by spending some time with young people.
It's true. Absolutely true. I think one of my favorite days
I actually
in the
have
year.
one of those hanging up in my office back in Trenton to this day. I got that forever, at least 10 years ago, and I've still got it.
Yep. I was going to say that I think one of my favorite days in the year back in the before times was when the day
In the long, long ago.
in the long, long ago, yeah. We would do like once a year, like an office team building with Junior Achievement. Like the kids would come to the office in Trenton and we would, sit in the iZone and work with them on, just, I don't even remember exactly what each of the projects were, but I remember always feeling like it was super worthwhile and like the kids got something out of it. I got something out of it. It just felt great.
For sure. It's hard. It's hard to, these young people now more than ever, even aside from the financial education, entrepreneurial skills, the career readiness experiences that we provide in partnership with our corporate volunteers like yourselves and our community volunteers, just this whole notion of having hope and how to overcome obstacles in life. I mean, it is so important because young people have so many questions. And oftentimes, they might have a parent, they might have a guardian, they have a teacher, but you're someone that's different. You're a volunteer that's just spending time because you want to help, because you want to inspire, and they see that and they recognize that.
That's so awesome. That makes me feel That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I love it.
Mhm. Come back and volunteer. Come
Yeah,
back.
you know, yeah. I'm seriously thinking about it. I think it would be great. Okay, so I think on that note, I think we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to play a game. And we're back, and it is now time to play a game called Awful or Awesome, which today is brought to you by One Team Financial. I'm going to name 3 things, and we each have to decide quickly if they're awful or awesome, and then be prepared to defend your answers. Ready? Okay.
I am ready.
Learning. You're late to the party, then. Come on.
I know.
Be
It
better.
sounded like you were, it's a rhetorical question, but it sounded like you left this pregnant hang there where you were waiting for like one of us to respond. So
I thought somebody would say something sooner, Vin. I don't know what to tell you. All right. First up, learning a new language as an adult. I'm going to go ahead and say awful because I have tried and tried and tried, and I can't do it. I can't do it. And when I say adult, I mean I started trying to learn like French in high school. Still can't speak French. I have a great accent. I order off a menu beautifully, but I can't talk to people and have them understand me, and I can't listen to people and understand them. So anyway,
Catherine?
I say awful.
Awesome.
Really?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. As soon as I have more time, I'm getting back to my Italian classes. I was taking Italian in Princeton for about 4 years, and I had to stop just because I just got too busy. So absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to get back to it.
Are you fluent after 4
I
years?
wish I was. I'm so far.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, when I went to Italy a couple of years ago, I was able to. I could handle myself somewhat, but no, I'm far from fluent. Sure, for sure.
The problem with that is when you start to like speak a little bit, like you say thank you or you're welcome or where's the bathroom, you look very Italian. So I'm sure people like will answer you and just start to like rapid fire talk to you, and you're like, no, please, I'm not really.
I tell you that actually happened to me. Like when I was in Italy, like, like I understood just enough to get by because I was taking it in college. And then like, it just like came rushing out and I'm like, whoa, I'm definitely an American. So, yeah.
And then they're in
I'm gonna go with
dialect.
awesome though. I've never been good at this, but I really want to learn ASL. So, it's one of those things that I constantly like, it's on the back burner. Like one day it will happen,
Yeah.
The beauty of ASL too is because I'm the opposite of Kate. Like, even if I could understand the language perfectly, the accent is always going to throw me off. I'm that guy that's like, buongiorno, so no accent involved here, Thank you.
That's a really good point. I like it. Oh my gosh. So Vin, where do you come down? Awful or awesome?
Awesome. You should always be a lifelong learner. We should always try to learn new things and all that. I wish I had more time to do it.
Yeah, fair. All right, next up, people parking in front of your house. And I'm going to go ahead and say awful because I don't own a house anymore. But when I did, I could tolerate it for like a night. But like if it became a thing, I'd be like, who do these people think they are? I swear to God, it's terrible. I'm very territorial, I guess, maybe.
I don't know. I live on a narrow road, so if somebody parks in front of my house, it's a problem. Like they're either blocking, the street for people to get through, or half the time, like my neighbors will get like yard work done, and the truck will park like right in front of my driveway, and so I can't get in. It's always a problem.
That's definitely problematic. Oh my God, awful. Catherine, where do you come down on this issue?
That's a tough one. I don't know if it's awful or awesome. I can say that. So I lived in Trenton for 20 years, and it was all street parking.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, in front of my house, there was a fire hydrant. So you're not supposed to park in front of a fire hydrant, although some people did. But but there were people that were a little territorial. And there were one, maybe two in 20 years. So, I think it's a little bit, it's probably a little unfair to feel like you own a piece of street,
Right.
Yeah, because it's in front of your house. Although I do understand when people, whether, whether people have, they've had a hard time, hard time walking, or they have children, that's absolutely understandable. Or in my case, I had to get a new roof, so I had to block off with tape in front of my house so that no one parked there. That's an exception too, so.
I can remember I used to live in Bloomfield in an apartment, and there was no parking lot. It was all street parking. And I never did this, but some people would shovel their spot out in the wintertime after a snow, and they would like drag out road cones that they had stolen. Or if they didn't have a road cone, they would drag out like a lawn chair from the garage. So there would be this lawn chair in this parking spot on either side of a snowbank or in between two. So it was crazy, the things people will do to guard their stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely not territorial about the front of my house, but who is my dog. So if somebody parks like right in front of my house, like my dog will get right up into the bay window in front and be like, "Whoa, who is this? Why are you here? Hey, everybody, there's somebody here and I don't like it." And she will scream that for, as long as the car is there. So awful, awful. No, she's like this big. So she can scare nobody, but she annoys me, which is enough.
She thinks she's an attack dog, but she's not really.
Yes, she definitely does. She's a Shiba Inu. They're like 20 pounds.
Oh my God. All right, last one, travel post-COVID. We were talking before we went live that BIA had our first live in-person event last night for the first time in 15 months. And it was surreal to be in a room full of 200 people without masks on. It was a little,
yeah.
I don't know how to be anymore. Like I'm not socially aware. Or, this is how bad I am. I can't even say the words. I'm socially awkward now because of the pandemic.
Blame it on the pandemic.
At least you have the excuse.
Right. So travel post-COVID, I'm going to say awesome because I'm really looking forward to it getting back to normal. But I'm nervous that some people are not going to act appropriately as we move through the world, continuing to get to the other side of the pandemic.
I felt the same way at the exact same event. Like I was standing in that room, there was 300 people around me, and I was not freaking out, but I was not freaking out.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was definitely like a thing. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say like I want to get out there and go somewhere kind of secluded. Like I don't want to go to like a Disney World or something where there's going to be 10,000 people around me, but I don't know what to do or where to go, Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm just as isolated as I am now, so I don't know that makes any sense either.
That's a good point. Yeah. It's a hard question, I guess. Catherine,
there's got to be a balance. There's got to be some people around, but not, like shoulder to shoulder length.
Absolutely.
I'd say awesome. I mean, I have one trip planned for the fall with a girls trip to the West Coast, and I'm hoping to book a couple more. So I have the travel bug, and as long as we're careful, that's the most important thing. But I'm ready to get out in the friendly skies for sure.
Me too. Yeah, I really am too. I think I'm going to continue to wear a mask on airplanes just because I didn't even catch like a summer cold over the last 15 months. I'm not mad that I wore a mask for so long in public. I'm going to keep doing it, especially in an airport and on a plane. I'm fine with that. I just can't wait to like see the world again.
You know how you're in, have you ever been lately, have you been in an auditorium or whether it's an auditorium or a church, something where someone's speaking and everyone's quiet, and you hear a cough here or a cough over there or a cough behind you. Did you notice lately, if you've been in a room with a lot of people and it's quiet, there's no coughing.
Right.
There's no colds.
No.
So you're right about the masks. It's probably a good idea.
It's a great idea. Nobody got the flu this last year. I mean, like 1% of the usual number got it. And you know what? Since the mask mandate has been lifted, and I'm not like one way or the other, however you feel about masks, but since it's been lifted, almost every single one of my friends has said to me, oh my gosh, everybody in my house is sick. We all got the cold. There's a bug going around. Like we're right back to that normal from the before time that we were never very happy with. So I don't know. It's an easy solution. Just wear a mask when you're in public. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
I don't know that anybody's going to do that. I think it's been so long that we've had to wear them that people are just dying to rip these things off and never go back. So
I think you're right.
Enjoy the 2 years you had without the flu.
I will, thank you.
And that's the game. Thank you so much to One Team Financial for sponsoring it for us today. Catherine, how can listeners help you make a difference?
There's so many ways that you can help organizations like Junior Achievement make a difference. I mean, whether it's spending time with young people and volunteering for the organization, or it's getting involved in one of our special events, or it could be simply retweeting or resharing any of the great news or any of the upcoming events. For example, we have our New Jersey Business Hall of Fame, which is our signature event, will take place in December. Actually, it's going to be on Thursday, December 9th. It'll be a virtual event, and we will be getting the word out pretty soon. And we hope that folks mark their calendars and attend it. Again, it'll be a virtual event, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to recognize those tremendous laureates that we honor each year. We'll be honoring 3 very special people that we'll be announcing very soon. 3 very special people on December 9th, and we hope that everybody comes out to celebrate them and our laureate legacies who had been honored in the past.
Cool. So if people want to get involved, how can they get a hold of you?
Very simple. Our website is janj.org, which is short for Junior Achievement of New Jersey, janj.org, or you can find us on LinkedIn, Twitter,
Facebook,
probably Instagram, maybe. All the places.
All the places.
You're in all the places. Fantastic. And that's our show, I think. Thank you so much. Thanks to our listeners, especially the subscribers. We so appreciate the support. Thank you to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, the official sponsor of the show. They do home, auto, and workers' comp, so check them out if you need some updated coverage. And finally, thanks to Catherine Milone of Junior Achievement New Jersey for joining us today. Thank you.